Hey, though. It's the Mafia. This shit for all the gangsters, nigga. Real story. Jugging out the double doors, cuz in the 6'4". Towers hitting switches on these niggas back in 94. Basketball practice, and after that, I'm back to selling dope. When the cops hit the Ave, I done made a rack off of my pager though. When the WAP hit my box, I'ma hit them back, I'm on the payphone. My shoebox getting full, I need to go buy me a safe for real. It's treacherous outside, not supposed to have it, but I paid for it. A brand new out the box, Trulla on me while I'm trapping. And I hope.
Yo, hey man, it's time for that Culture for the Street. Y'all get them lights up. We in the streets tonight. Y'all know what it is, but before we get into all of that, we need everybody to turn their antennas all the way up, man. Because this is my Big Poker, man. Recipes to the SUC, Croc Bull, you know what I mean? Recipes to Big Poker, man.
Mob style leader, man. Texas pioneer, screwed up click alum. Had when we talking about rap careers, man, we don't even see in the generation of rap now today, we don't even see rappers make it 30 years. They barely making it 10. It's hard for them to see 5. So we talking about somebody, no, this ain't, he wasn't never a major record deal, major label. Let's get this part straight about Texas first, while we talking about Big Pokey, man. The hardest pit in the litter. Texas artists, Texas rap culture, Texas culture period, works solely off of independence. It always really has. Texas artists they didn't specialize in going out there trying to get the record deal from the label. They turned themselves into the record label. So Texas was one of them states that it was like the Bay to me, because in the Bay they had the same mentality. We ain't chasing no record label. I'm about to go outside, start my own label. We the label. We are our own label. So it was like a city full of everybody got their own label. They was really showing you how to be bosses instead of runners 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when Screw started that.
Recipes to DJ Screw.
DJ at the club for no couple $100. I can put these tapes together, let these niggas freestyle. You ready? Boom, these niggas freestyling 30-song tapes, 15-minute songs. They freestyling verses, not messing up. Then turn around. He put it out. He got the street packed down the street, corner to corner, like it's a trap house. He's showing you how to take that and turn it into business. And he did that from his crib. So he come from being around that too. So Pokey saw so many different eras of music that he got to participate in. You see what I'm saying? Like he survived so many different eras of music. He had a super long career, like Big Pokey. Like when you say Big Pokey, you can't really say it. We got to give him the same credit you would give a Zero, because at the end of the day, Big Pokey been rapping longer than Zero, and Zero been rapping for a long time.
Yes. I mean, he come from the gray tape era. You see what I'm saying? When Screw was giving out gray tapes, like, for a person that's not in tune with the Houston culture, if they was to go and touch the soil and see how the culture really is, because a lot of us outsiders, we always thought rap a lot. But Screwed Up Click got the biggest influence in Houston. You see what I'm saying?
Because screw music
still It still lives.
Down, man.
It
And
still
to this day,
lives.
riding slab, riding screw, and they bump the screw.
The crazy thing about it, when I first pulled up in the screw shop, what caught my eye, I thought I was gonna see some black people first, but I didn't. I saw 5 Mexicans taking pictures in front of the screw mural that's in front of the screw shop. And that just opened my mind to, you know, like, wow, screw made a big impact in Texas when it comes down to music, because everywhere you go, you gonna hear screw. You gonna hear them banging screw. Not just that. When you see 83s and 84s on slabs, that's the first thing come to my mind when I see it. This is what screw created and what's still living on. You know what I mean?
It's hard. But I wouldn't say created, because at the end of the day, he was the pioneer of a wave. But without the people that did the freestyling, screw don't come together as a whole, because we're not just about to ride around and listen to the beats with no words on it. Yeah, it's cool to listen to Spice One, Trigger Got No Heart, Screwed and Chopped, but ain't nothing like hearing Big Pokey, Lil Kiki, ESG, Big Mo.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it back then, you know.
They must credit. So I can't say like Screw created them. They was artists already themselves. That's why their freestyles was what they was.
They put it like this. I probably said it wrong, but what I mean by that, when I hear a screw tape, the main thing that pop up in my head is how the streets was back then. In H-Town, you know, niggas smoking Sherm, niggas sipping lean, and they going in the booth and just do what they do. Not all screw members, but that was a part of their culture at that time. You know what I mean? Big Pokey, I became a late bloomer. I heard of him, but I became a late bloomer when I heard him on Still Living on Big Tony album. Shout out to the Hall, Big Tony. But when I heard him on there, I went back and started listening to Hardest Pit in the Little and all the other classic tapes that he was on. But what caught my eye, we seen 2 years ago or a year ago when he dropped Sensei after 10-year,
Might be almost 2 years ago that dropped, probably.
Yeah, probably 2 years ago. He had a 10-year break of, you know what I mean? Not, you know, he was doing features and everything, but he didn't do an album. And when he dropped Sensei, he went from 2 million streams to 3 million streams to 5 million streams. I'm not mistaken. I think it went up to 9 to 10 million streams.
That though?
Huh?
I said, you know why he was able to do that? Because the same reason every artist in Texas is able to be successful. Texas is so big, and it's the music scene in Texas influences Texas, even the artists that's coming up. It influences them to remain Texas
at all times.
They don't go out here and they want to sound like the Midwest, or they want to sound like the West Coast. They keep it Texas. Everybody got their own sauce, but it's still Texas.
They culture, I mean, they the reason why, rest in peace to Big Mo, you know, boys got the double cups in their hand, you know what I mean? And every video all the way to 2023, they double cupping. That's the part of their culture. You see what I'm saying? They started the draped out and drip, the lingo of dripping, all of it, like as a whole, like draped up and dripped out. Lil Kiki said that on I forgot what, Pimping My Pen. He said that on Pimping My Pen freestyle way back in the days. And that draped up and dripped out. Lingo still exists to this day. So Texas got a big influence on music, period, but not to get off subject.
But with them to be able to do millions of views without leaving Texas is because Texas is influenced by Texas. So being that you become these artists, that's why so many successful artists independent in Texas, because they have a whole fan base. They never have to leave state lines to accumulate.
They got enough music to where they don't have to listen to
so like
out of
where
town.
we probably didn't know this the day that Big Pokey came out that it came out. We probably found out a little later down the line, whether it was hours down the line. Texas culture, Texas people, the ones outside riding them slabs, the ones that's so in tune with screwed up music that they still ride around listening to that, and it's 2023. And they listen to songs from 94, 93. They knew Big Pokey dropped the first 60 seconds it dropped.
Of course. Because everybody
to do the 3, 4, 5. Because really, Texas so in tune with Texas. If you any kind of rapper that the streets really mess with, like you ain't see the video that been going viral, a little white girl, she was rapping Big Pokey like word for word. So that just lets you know that just the streets, he influenced a lot of people because he been, at some point in time, like we seen him be screwed up click. We seen a lot of them be screwed up click. Well, why they was screwed up click, they had whatever the label was, they was representing for themselves.
Right.
Like Big Pokey had mob style. He been mob style the whole time. He never ran off and said, you know what, this Def Jam.
Right, for sure. He stayed independent. And then dropped a classic EP with J-Dog right before he passed away. 5 songs.
Yeah, like you said, you took a whole decade off. You took a whole era of music off, came back and did numbers like you ain't never left. Like you just been double dutching in the game the whole time. But the whole time you was just chilling, doing what you do. You already have a tremendous catalog. And then you come back and put what I felt like was a good body of work to have been missing for 10 years in the music industry.
And not to mention he had his hands inside them dogs too. You feel me? So
only thing about this Big Pokey situation I don't like, cuz, is the whole video.
Yeah, it was disturbing. It was very disturbing. And what I got from it, even though it was heartbreaking, he died doing what he loved to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not even just that, even before he died, Big Pokey have done a lot of features with a lot of up and coming new H-Town artists. You feel me? He was all over he was everywhere, like dog crap. Like anything got to do with Texas, Pokey was there. Well, especially Houston as a whole, he was there, whether there was old school, new school. He cemented his legacy, gonna forever live on, just like all of the other SUC members.
Yeah,
you
for
feel
sure.
me?
It was just disturbing because
it was.
We didn't see nothing like this with DJ Screw. We didn't see nothing like this with Nico. We didn't see nothing like this with nobody else. So see this, and then it's just the whole thing with me. Like the same person that's videotaping him falling out. I'm not saying you a nurse type of dude or you know how to deal with people health issues offhand when something just happens on the fly like that. But to normalize not cutting your camera off when you see something happening to somebody and it ain't looking good. despise that
I agree.
so much in people because it's like you
That's
saying
what
somebody help him, but you recording him falling out. Why you ain't helping?
right. Why you ain't drop that phone and get to his rescue?
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It just hit different for me because watching it, I'm like it don't really make no sense to me.
But I'm gonna say this, man. He will be remembered for a long time because he did his work. He did his work. You got a lot of H-Town veterans that don't even collab with the younger artists. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Far as collabing with younger artists, you only see shout out to the Hall. You see J Dog, he in the mix. You see Big Pokey, he was in the mix. You don't see Zero or I can't say that about Slim Thug. It might be a question mark right there, but overall, you seen who were the legends that was standing by the youngsters.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, this come from up under the same umbrella as us.
Mm-hmm.
Respect what's going on. You feel me? His face was always shown. And like I said, man, it's messed up. Condolences to his family. The whole SUC is not too many members left. You know, Big Pokey, rest in peace,
We
Big
talking about
Pokey.
original members.
Rest in peace, Big Mo, Big Hawk, Fat Pat. You know what I mean? It's Matt Grace. It's more than that. But these are the names that I know of. If I miss any names, I didn't mean to. I don't know all of them, but rest in peace to those. But on another note, the only ones that I can think of that's left, like original, ESG and Lil Kiki. You know, get well, ESG. You know, they just cut his leg off in the hospital. He hopefully he'll be back on the
I gotta
scene.
throw Zero in there too, because Zero was 16, 17,
Yeah,
rapping
that's why. But see,
real
that's
quick.
why I said forefathers, like the original ones that was on the first screw tapes. You know what I mean? That died early.
Only reason I say Zero part of the original is because even though he was younger than them, he was around all of them. The Big Mo's, the
Yeah,
around them.
he was in the loop.
Yeah, so to me that makes him
He's SUC for sure. Lil Flip is SUC.
I would you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would call both of them. I would say both of them because
Yeah,
I
there's
mean
no doubt. They screwed up Click. You know what I mean? You can't leave Flip out at all. He was definitely in the loop. So, you know, shout out to the whole screwed up Click, man. But on to the next. What we got next, cuz
uh
with the Trulla
Vlad
Mafia.
TV from the we
Oh yeah,
finesse
Vlad
finesse the
TV, Vlad
Decatur.
TV. Okay, Finesse2tymes. Okay, Finesse2tymes just performed in the after hour spot in Decatur. Now, everybody know when it comes to these after party spots in Decatur, it always get messy. It never fails. Like something always happen. Allegedly, you know, he was booked for an after party, came to perform, and in the midst of it, allegedly 5 people were shot. A lot of people pointing fingers, saying, you know, this ain't nothing new with finesse, with shows getting shot up. But you can't blame it on him. If he chose to go get that type of money, that's not on him. Some artists, when it come to areas like that, they'll be like, no, they don't want no dealers. They rather do a show in a more secure type area instead of going to the trenches. You know, these hole in the wall clubs where dude could get an F and N in the back door type thing. You know what I mean? They're not gonna go in those spots.
Well,
A
see,
lot of
let me
people.
break this down when it comes to that. Is because as an artist, it's like going to meet a new plug you ain't never met in person. You ain't never dealt with him ever. Your money ain't never went to him through him no type of way. So going to deal with this nigga, you really taking the risk. You don't know if you getting set up. You don't know if he about to backdoor you. You don't know if he gonna try to finesse you out what you know what I mean, your cash. You don't know a lot of things. It's the same thing, and then you don't have no control over a lot of things when you do these things. So as an artist, you get booked. You don't know if the niggas that's booking you only booking you so when you come they can take your chain, or because they cool with the ops and you don't know that they really linked to the niggas you've been beefing with, so they gonna put the bag up on getting you to come to the city. So when you come perform, they can be the nigga problem is in the audience. Not only that, but it might not be none of that. But you just up there doing your job, and some niggas that was into it in the streets show up. Then the people they into it show up later on during the show. Now they look up and across the thing, they see the niggas they into it with. It's going right there. But you ain't got nothing to do with that. No control over it neither. But when it happens, you get blamed for what happened.
Right, because it's your show.
That's what happens to the rapper. The rapper always get the blame, but the rapper has no
That's
control
what happened.
over none of that.
That's what happened to him the first time in Arkansas when that happened. They charged him, not the promoter. They charged the artist.
Yeah,
You see
but
what I'm
that
saying?
situation was different because niggas on his side got the hitting.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's different. I'm not gonna say every time something like this go down when Finesse is performing that his people got to start hitting.
No.
Cause it might not got nothing to do with them. Just cause Finesse there and somebody get the clapping off in there, don't mean that it was finessing them people. It could be niggas from that seen they opposition and tried to get at them but it just happened to be in the show. He's still gonna get blamed for it though. That's just the way
Yeah.
most of the time. The artists really have no control. Sometimes they don't even have control for themselves because even if you come with security, we just seen Jada Youngin show up at places where he didn't got booked, and then while he on stage with these people performing, they lay him down, take his chain.
Mm-hmm.
It's the danger. It's so many different
It's a gamble.
avenues, danger you gotta watch out for. You trying to entertain and watch for 1,000 different threats.
Facts.
Understand how hard it is. You got to make sure everybody in your team straight. Make sure everybody doing what they supposed to do. Make sure ain't no threats around us so we all get to the crib. Make sure that don't nobody around us do nothing that's gonna affect us. You trying to pay attention to too much and don't have control of little or nothing.
Right.
Because you only got one job you here to do. Make it home safe and perform for the money you've been paid. So when you show up to do your job, you doing your job. You can't control whether niggas start fighting or whatever they start doing.
No, you can't.
But you gonna
You
get blamed
can't.
when it happens though.
I
And the
mean,
more
that
events that you present at, it makes you look like, oh no, nah, man, we might
that's
not
a
get no money up.
yeah, like he got a black cloud over it.
Yeah. So it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. And you as an artist, you really can't duck that.
And I mean, like you said, you can't duck that. But then on another note, it's up to the artist if they wanna go collect that bag. That ain't a bag that they gotta go get.
Yeah, but how many bags is you gonna do? Okay, you don't go get that bag. Then somebody else called. You don't want to go there neither. Then somebody else called. It's crazy over there too. I don't want to go get that. You do that 6, 7 times, 8 times. You go now. You making excuses to niggas in your team. Hey, cuz I ain't gonna be able to give you that usual 5,000 I usually give everybody. I have to give everybody 500 because you done turned down so many shows.
Right. It's just a gamble.
You can't do that.
It's just a gamble these days when it comes down to being a rapper. That just period. It's a big gamble. You feel me? But on another note, speaking
of security, that'll stop people from shooting because you searching everybody. They ain't gonna stop fighting though.
Right, that's it. On another note, speaking of that, you know, DJ Vlad, he was getting blamed for Boosie arrest, and he responded to everybody and let everybody know like he wasn't the cause of Boosie getting arrested. Those clips which you see of Boosie, that was recorded way back in April.
Yeah, most of the time, he left is months old because he run his clips first, then probably like a month afterward, put the whole joint out. And I don't blame no podcaster, no blogger, no dude doing an interview, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't look at none of these interviews Boosie did and make that seem like that's the reason he went to jail. Not even Matt Hopper. You have to look at the video to understand what's going on. You have to understand that the police was watching the IG live too. You got to understand that's probably what really played part of him getting pulled over in the first place. If they was watching the IG live, then they know, okay, that's what Boosie got the strap on. Let's pull them over. So Matt Hopper don't got the police did pull up and say, broop, broop, yeah, we pulled you over because you was just on Matt Hopper and shit. And it's 2 guns in here. You did say that you put them on the people, like, so you going to jail for them because of that interview. That ain't what it's for. It's more evident of the IG live that you got this big rocket on you. And then you get pulled over. If that happened to be in the car, then they got a case.
Ain't no way around it.
So this really go back to Boosie himself, not even just dude that was behind the IG live. Because at the end of the day, Boosie should have been concealing. Okay, if you feel safer being out here with the ham on you, okay. But what's wrong with having a longer shirt on, so it covered? What's wrong with having a little jacket on, so it covered? What's wrong with having a hoodie on or something, so it covered it? You walking around like Clint Eastwood.
A short t-shirt on, like probably a polo tee that's above your pants. Man, that's gonna make it look visible.
Walking around, you know how the Cali yards be all dirt, no grass. He just walking around like dirty air. He just walking around just man. Cause like
he got too comfortable. He got too comfortable. He got too comfortable.
The dude that had the camera, he was wrong. But Boosie was wrong too because you out here, the way you're walking around, everybody that's look, whether they recording you or not, they see that you have a weapon. Even if I feel like this threat, you better off just not even knowing I got it. Cause once everything go left and I go crazy on you, element of surprise. Because you thinking you know what I mean? That's why a lot of niggas get their pose took, because you want to have it all showing and you got your back turned down, niggas standing behind you, ready to snatch it and run, or whatever the case is. You can't take what you don't see. Listen. It just don't make no sense to me as to why he was walking around with the pepper on him like that, man.
That was definitely Wasn't a good decision. It wasn't a good decision.
It just wasn't. It just wasn't. Let's talk
Free
about
Boosie,
that.
man.
I don't want to talk about Mafiia interview, Vlad interview. Like none of Vlad's interviews is the reason.
He just wasn't moving like a professional, man. He was moving like a youngster in that situation.
One thing about understand another thing about this situation too. When you walk around all the time with all the with the utmost respect for the police everywhere you go, you trying to get everybody to root for just saying, nigga, to just disregard them. When you do that, you turn yourself into public enemy number one to them everywhere you go because they are the biggest gang.
Facts.
So if you in Oklahoma and you telling somebody, you telling the crowd to say,
F the police.
to OKPD. Nigga, when you go to the Idaho, the police over there gonna not like you for what you did to the OKPD.
Right, for sure.
Be over there waiting on you like this. Yeah. Do that over here. Watch what happens. We gonna railroad you so raw. You turning them all against you everywhere you go. You turning yourself to a target to them because what you doing?
Facts.
Ain't no than what NWA was doing when they was walking around doing it. They had to run up out them shows because they was risking getting arrested all the time. Police was trying to take them to jail. Every time they stood on the stage and did that, they didn't care, but they knew they had to run or go to jail. To the point where they got a spike in their head, they like, yeah, the police, and then because they know they all coming. They try to take the whole squad to jail. They'll shut the tour down if they catch y'all after this show. It was that bad. So he bringing them vibes on himself.
Yeah, and that's got to be that. Ain't no way around it. That's dumb.
If you ain't in the streets doing street stuff still full time like you was when you was just a street nigga, you really don't got no reason for walking around talking about.
Leave them people alone.
Don't.
Leave them alone. Don't go to throwing rocks at the chain gang and you ain't got no reason to go in there. Leave them people alone. But on to the next, man. Rest in peace to CEO Teasy. Outstanding member from his section. And his death is going to cause more chaos in the city of Memphis because like we know this was an outstanding member who was loved, feared, all the above. Everything they got to do with the streets, he got the whole package, you know? And allegedly, from watching different bloggers or whatever, they were saying that a Trulla Mafia member allegedly threw Paper Route Wu in the trunk a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much stuff that's been going on every week.
So you believe that? Because I don't really believe that.
I don't believe it.
All the stuff that's going on between
that's why I said alleged.
That's something that's gonna come out. Like, because what's going on, it need to come out so niggas understand.
The reason why it's out like that is because COT's old lady allegedly put it out on Facebook. You feel me? So
I'm saying even from their side, like nobody spoke on that, nobody hot about it or nothing. All this that's going on.
It's so much going on in the M town when it come down to this.
Just certain things I don't be believing. It's just like with the run off with the money. I don't believe that.
It's like you can't put none past it, but at the same time you can't go for everything either. You see what I'm saying? Like some people do, you know, this clickbait thing is popular. You know, people telling lies to get views is popular.
It
You know what I
definitely
mean? Everybody that speaks on social media, they're not talking facts all the time. Sometimes that's just how they entertain their audience by giving the people lies. Even though it's crazy, but people do it.
and let me say
Yeah.
this too, because I see a lot of people in people comments, even in our comments when we talk about certain things in Memphis, and people will be like, when people say it been crazy since Dolph been gone, that just lets you know that they don't know nothing about Memphis. We not never saying that this what type of stuff wasn't going on in Memphis before Dolph died. It definitely was. Memphis always been heavy on the
A
pimping,
turned up
heavy on the
city.
gangster, heavy on all that. We know all of that already, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
We know that to be for sure. But
That's
what I'm talking about, we talking about these situations between these direct
two
people.
camps.
We talking about two big record labels. We talking about people that's from the street that run these record labels. That's from the city of Memphis. That's what we talking about. Hey, nigga, two record labels ain't been going to war with each other in the streets of Memphis since the 60s, nigga. Shut up.
I mean, on
Memphis
another
always
note,
get down.
that
Since
that
never not
that
saying
beef
not been getting
that
down. Y'all been getting down. But what's going
that
on right
beef that they had back
now?
then,
Common.
the beef that they had back then, it wasn't no social media, it wasn't no cameras around. So it was different. If it was talked about, one of them said it. Now, when it come down to beef, everybody puts everything on social media on their
This
page.
like they gotta understand, like, yeah, when you from a state and then it's another state doing something, another city doing something, you don't know about it until something happens where it becomes worldwide news. Nigga,
Public
nigga,
information.
didn't nobody know New Orleans was the murder capital, nigga, until Master P came out. About it.
Right.
They let us know. Prior to that, nigga,
Hmm.
we didn't know that's what was going on down there like that. We had no idea.
See,
In
one thing
Baltimore,
about
I
it.
never knew until it
One,
came out. Oh, they number one in the country with the crime rate. Like, cuz we don't be no checking for Baltimore on purpose.
see
Shout out
one.
to these cities because we know them to be stumped down. I'm just saying, when you from somewhere else, the world ain't shedding light on just your city, bruh.
See the
So
thing.
getting Chicago emphasized like Chicago was until Dolph died, and then from there, it's been a spotlight on Memphis because the music scene is there, like they on top of the music game, and then on top of that, people that's involved on top of the music game is involved in these situations, bruh.
I mean, if you putting street information out online, bloggers, podcasters, we gonna definitely talk about it. That's our job. We content creators. Whether if it's true or false, that's what's gonna happen. It is what it is, man.
Yeah,
But
but
this all we got for
it
y'all
just
in this
makes it seem so
episode.
stupid. It ain't like that. And they need to get that up because y'all just ain't the talk of the country. Y'all been the talk because the rap game came and took over so much. Now we starting to see that the streets of Memphis is super crazy. People that know about Memphis knew Memphis been crazy, but ever since Dolph, it's been crazy because these are not just people that's in the street no more that's getting into it. We talking about major label record companies, nigga.
Millionaires. We talking about millionaires for sure. But this all we got on this episode. It's time for that coaching for the streets, man. Y'all know the assignment. tune in to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe, man. And don't leave about the trap. We gone.
Cheer. Got my nigga Cheese in this bitch. Midwest UGK, nigga. You already know. Cheer. I said my hands on this money. I'm caught up in this lifestyle. This 100-round drummy. It'll knock a nigga right down. My dope on my scale. It be knocking watch lights out. My spot do be booming. I'm caught up in this lifestyle. My hands on this money. I'm caught up in this lifestyle.